if you're someone who's planning Spiti Valley in the month of January 2026, then this video is particularly meant for you. Now, Spiti Valley in January is the peak of winter, so you can expect the temperature in the daytime to be in close to 0 degrees, while in the night the temperature will fluctuate anywhere between minus 15 to minus 25, 30 degrees C. Now, this is a reality, what I've just mentioned. There is no mistake. And let's dive into the five areas that we'll be discussing. So, the first thing that we'll go through is the weather and the temperatures in detail. The next would be the road condition. After that, number three would be accommodation. Number four would be places to visit. And number five would be what you should be packing for this trip, the gear. And the last, it's a bonus thing, is basically your budgeting for this particular trip to Spiti Valley. So now, when it's number one, when it comes to the weather and road condition, you need to remember that the temperature in Spiti Valley during the daytime will be anywhere between, I would say, close to zero or in negative. So by default, you're going to need to have a very, very good jacket with you. Get a jacket that can withstand this extremely cold weather. Otherwise, do not travel to Spiti Valley. You're going to really, really struggle. Do not carry a hoodie which you feel is good enough in the city. That's not going to suffice. Even if you have been to Spiti Valley in summer and you feel you've managed the cold, winter is an altogether new ball game, and it's going to be treacherous if you do not have the correct gear. Now, the night temperature will drop to as low as even minus 25, minus 30, with the real feel going even lower by another 5 to 7 degrees. So, it's important that you carry a sleeping bag that again can withstand this temperature. My personal recommendation is to carry a sleeping bag which can go as low as minus 15 degrees, because that is the ideal kind of sleeping bag you need for this kind of altitude and terrain with this cold and harsh weather. Now, when it comes to snowfall is going to be frequent. The roads are going to be shut most probably every alternate day. The Manali road is not going to be open. The only way in and out is via the Kinnaur Shimla route. Even that road will shut if it snows heavily. Now, remember that the snowfall in this region can range from anywhere between a couple of feet to even maybe 10 feet, depending on the amount of snowfall. Blizzards are even a reality in the month of January. So come prepared with for the worst, I would say. Carry all the gear that you would need, but do not overpack with unnecessary things that you will not end up using. Now, the temperature varies from village to village. So if you go to a village like Demol or Dankar, or maybe Kibar and Langsa, it's going to be much cooler since the temperature and the altitude is much higher. But in places like Kaza and Tabo, it's going to be a lot more bearable as compared to what it is in the villages. But remember, in these high altitude villages, people do live there and they do have the gear and the home set up to withstand this cold temperature. But when you're staying in a hotel or a homestay in Kaza or in Tabo, these are more modern constructions, which will really not be helpful in the cold weather. Heaters are not really going to be helpful because electricity gets cut off in the nights after 11:30. There is going to be no electricity, and that's going to be a bummer for all those who are expecting to have heaters to keep them warm and electric blankets. That's not going to be the case in Spiti Valley, at least. So whatever you experience in Kashmir is not going to happen in Spiti Valley. It's extremely remote, and it's only meant for the traveler. So now, moving on to the road condition, the Manali Kaza route is closed. There's no way the road is going to be open. No matter who tells you, it's not going to happen. The only way through is via Shimla, Rekwangpio, Kalpa, Nako, and the Kaza route, which is generally the only way in and out. Now, remember, this road also can get a little bit trickery because of the black ice that is formed. And if you are someone who's self driving on this road, make sure that by default you have your snow chains along with you for all four tires, because it's going to be a real task for you to be getting in and out. And do not go there on a self drive trip all on your own. Have at least a minimum of two people in your vehicle who can drive, and try going in at least a convoy of minimum two to three vehicles. So, in case something goes wrong, you have somebody else for support. Now, this is related to the routes. Now, when it comes to the third part, which is accommodation, accommodation is very limited in Spiti Valley in the month of January. The homestays will be open in all the villages. The hotels might not be open everywhere. It's in Tabo and in Kaza. Very limited options for the hotels that are going to be there. Now, in case you want to stay in a remote village, you have an option because the homestays will welcome you with open arms. But remember that you're not going to get any kind of luxuries. You'll just get the basic food in the form of dal, rice, and maybe a couple of vegetables here and there, because it's very difficult to get resources in the winter months in Spiti Valley. Now, when it comes to the places like Kaza and Tabo, a few restaurants and dabas might be open, but the food again will be very basic and minimalistic because the staff doesn't really want to wait there in this extreme cold weather. So most of the staff is going to be absent from these places, and the food again will be back to the locals who are cooking the food. Momos and chow mein and tukpa is something that you will easily get in Kaza and Tabo. So you can live on that and suffice for the winter months. Now, when it comes to the homestays, in practicality, they will give you plenty of blankets. They might even have a tandoor, which is a wooden heater, but it's not really going to be helpful because once the wood burns out, it's going to be extremely cold. So, by default, again, carry a very good sleeping bag so that you are going to have a peaceful night. Otherwise, it's going to be sleeping on an ice block. Now, when it comes to the fourth point, which is the places that you should be visiting in Spiti Valley in January, by default, you should stop at Nako, which is the gateway to Spiti Valley in winter. You can stay the night in Kaza, in Tabo. You can even stay a night in Kibar or in Langza. By default, visit Dankar village because you'll get a panoramic view of an frozen Spiti Valley. If you can and you're brave enough, spend the night in Dankar in one of the homestays. Pin Valley is also an option that you can go, but it's extremely remote and at the same time is extremely adventurous because if there is a roadblock, you'll be stuck there without network for a while. But at the same time, if you can get in and out, you'll get to see a majestic snow-capped valley with the river being frozen. Now, this is all that you can expect and the places that you can visit. Key Monastery is definitely an iconic place to visit in winter with the entire place covered in snow. But over and above this, Chandata Lake is not going to be possible. The max you can go up to on this route is the Chicham Kibar Bridge. You can visit the village of Chicham, and that's about it. Going beyond that is worthless because you'll have to return back from Losar. Now, the final point on this video is what you should be carrying. Heavy thermals you need. You definitely need good quality thermals. Do not cheap out on your gear in to go while going to Spiti Valley in winter, or do not go to Spiti Valley if you're going to cheap out on the gear. You need a very good down jacket. You need waterproof shoes. You definitely need a good muffler. You need UV protected sunglasses. You need very good gloves. You need a scarf. You also need lip gel. You need your sunscreen. And at the same time, you also need your cold cream with you. Having a good lip balm will go a long way because your lips will crack. A lifesaver in Spiti Valley is power banks. Do not travel to Spiti Valley without a minimum, I would say, of 10,000 mAh power bank. If you can carry two 10,000 mAh power banks, that will go a long way, or one 20,000 mAh. Depends on entirely what you want to carry. Carry cash at least 5,000 rupees, even if you have booked a trip, and carry it in small denominations of 100, 200, and 500s. The reason I'm saying carry cash is because there is a possibility that the network can go down and then you'll have real problems of connecting and making payments. Now, when it comes to network, Airtel and Jio have excellent 4G and 5G network. BSNL also has network, but I would say a combination of Airtel and Jio is the best way to get around Spiti Valley. Postpaid and prepaid network work really well over there. Now, if you are someone who's planning a trip to Spiti Valley in winter, you can click on the link in the description. We do have trips happening. You can book a trip directly from our website, or you can contact our sales team who will guide you through the booking process on our website. If you have any queries related to your own personal travel to Spiti Valley, please do not come and ping us and bother us because we are not going to be answering any of your queries related to your own questions. For that, you can leave a comment in the comment section or below this video. If you still want consultation, you can book a consultation which will cost you anywhere between 1,000 to 3,000 rupees. And our tlow expert will get on the call with you and solve your doubts. But if you're looking for free advice, we are not the people. This video is the best that we can do to give you free advice. Till our next video, stay safe, stay happy, stay blessed.